Hi besties, I'm Dana. Today I'm going to teach you how to create this look that I call lemon drop step by step, and I know you want to know how to do it, so sit tight. Let's get right into it. Obviously, let's get our hair out of our way first. I like doing mine at the end. Let me try to make them look a little cuter though. Yeah, that's better placement. First things first, let's change my contacts. Y'all know I love changing out my contacts for every single look. Today's look was inspired by love getting inspo from music. And this time I heard the one that goes, no way, I'll make a lemonade. That one. But today I'm gonna be using brown contacts. And before you tell me, girl, you already have brown eyes, let me cook here. These are enlarging contacts, and I love wearing enlarging contacts because they really bring attention to the eyes. So I'll show you the difference right now. So these are by TTDI, if I'm not mistaken, because I kind of unlabeled a lot of stuff like this. And this eye, I mean, you can't tell me that there's not a difference. They're very dolly coated eyelashes. Freaking no. Lenses, and I thought they would be really cute for this look. They're in my prescription because I'm blind. But anyways, the concept for this look kind of transitioned a couple times because originally it was supposed to be like super high glamour, and then I was like, oh, I want to bring it more like soft tone down. Then I remember the shirt. Yeah, sometimes I base my looks off of my outfits because I remember things that I have in my closet, and I love thrifting. So I remembered I had this shirt that was actually gifted to me, and I thought it'd be perfect. And then I was like, ooh, like little picnic vibes, and then I just came up with this whole look. Now, something actually shocking, unlike last time that I was kidding when I said shocking, I'm actually going to do something to my eyebrows today. Not anything major, so don't get too excited, but I'm going to be using this eyebrow pencil by Refi. I really like this one because I like the undertone of it, and I like how thin it is. Also, don't mind that I lost the cap. She's very well loved. I'm going to start by brushing out my eyebrows, and then I'm just going to lightly fill them in. When I do fill out my eyebrows, I kind of focus it on the end more than anything, and I try to keep it as natural as possible. Refi is one of those brands that I find to be super underrated. I feel like not that many people talk about it. I know that their primer kind of went a little bit viral not too long ago, and it's amazing from reviews that I've heard. But unfortunately, I haven't had the chance to try it out myself. So Refi, if you're watching this, when I do get closer to the front of the brow, I go very, very lightly and only at the bottom. And then I'll take the spoolie end and I'll start fading it upwards to make sure that we're not making anything look too blocky. For concealer today, I'm going to be using the T-Fit little concealer wheel. They were kind enough to send this to me, and I actually ended up loving it. I'm traveling literally in like 2 days, so I think I'm definitely going to be taking her because she has 3 different shades, so it's really, really convenient for your brightening, something more truer to your actual foundation. If you watched my How to Find Your Concealer video, you'll see that different concealers and shades have different purposes. This is perfect if you want to have like 3-in-1 that do 3 different jobs. So spot concealing or brightening, all of that jazz. And the quality is amazing, but I'm going to be using it to actually carve my eyebrow today, and I'm going to be using the lightest shade. And today I'm going to be using a Sigma brush. This is the Sigma F75 concealer brush. So I'm just going to take that on the lightest shade, and I'm not going to start directly carving my eyebrow because if I do, the most of the product is going to stay there and then it's going to look really bulky. I'm going to start lower on my lid, and then I'm going to start trickling it up so that we don't make it look too heavy because we're already putting a lot of product on our eyes. So I'm going to start trickling it up, and I like the shape of flat concealer brushes to do this because they really help you get into these little crevices and kind of let you glide on the shape, always blending downwards. And I'm using such a bright shade because I want my colors to pop, because today I'm using a little bit lighter colors, so I need a lighter base so that they can really pop. If I use something a little bit truer to my foundation, then they wouldn't show up as well. Wow. Me not knowing how to speak right now. Or if I were to apply a yellow shade directly to my eyelid as it is right now, it's really not going to show up. So we need to prep our lids properly to be able to do our makeup with these colors. So I'm just shaping my eyebrow lightly. And as you can see, the eyebrow pencil didn't do anything crazy because I don't really like having heavy brows unless it's for like a more Halloween coated look. That's just me. You do your eyebrows however you like because it is a personal preference type of thing. Once I have my shape sort of down, you guys know I love my stiffer concealer brush to kind of buff everything out. And as you can see, it makes it less intense because although it's a really light shade, we don't need it to be that caked on for it to work. And then once you have that all blended out, before we move on, we want to set it so it doesn't move around. I'm going to use this one by Laura Mercier. I'm just taking a fluffy brush, taking the tiniest bit, and then I'm just going to run that across my lid just so that it's not tacky anymore. You want to make sure you get this everywhere because you don't want to leave those tacky bits, because then the pigment of the eyeshadow will grab on tighter to that and it'll cause a lot of unevenness. Just like that. And you can see there's a clear difference in our eyelids. So let's do the other side. I had so much fun filming my last makeup tutorial. I really like getting into the creative. Ooh, that's how used oh my goodness. That is how used to not doing my eyebrows that I am. What even was, that is how unused to doing my eyebrows I am. Hello? I didn't do this eyebrow. Let me do this eyebrow. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm gonna fill in this one the way I did the other one. But since I do have a little bit less hair on this side, I do go in a tiny bit more heavy-handed in terms of thickness, but not anything crazy. Like I said, I'm not trying to draw on a new eyebrow. I'm just kind of enhancing what's already there. And the beauty of carving out our eyebrows afterwards is that we can clean up any whoopsies, and the spoolie is very forgiving, especially with a pencil like this. It really fades everything nicely. Like I said, being lighter handed towards the front, and then spooling upwards to make sure everything blends. And then I can go in with my concealer brush and my concealer and start putting that all over my lid and using that same concealer to draw out our shape. Again, last video I talked about symmetry. I like giving a sense of symmetry via the front of the brows, so as long as they have the same starting point, they just kind of guide each other into looking somewhat cohesive, because they don't have to be exactly the same in my opinion. I think there's a difference between harmony in a makeup look and perfectionism. I don't think you need to have perfect symmetry always to have the best makeup look. If the harmony is there, meaning everything looks right, then that's all that really matters. And again, we're going to set with our Laura Mercier today. For creative looks, when it comes to graphic liner and stuff, I usually work a little bit backwards, so I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Today, I'm going to be using the Norvina Volume 6 palette. I know she had a little bit of a cameo in my last video. The palette, not Anastasia. I wish. But anyways, I'm going to be using this shade right here. This one is B2. Any yellow shade will work. But I really like how bright this one is, and I like that it's kind of the same undertone as my shirt, to be so honest. Then I'm going to take a angled brush. You know, I love my angled brushes. This one is a Sephora Collection Pro Brow 20 pencil, but we're not gonna use it for our brows because I care about very precise shaping. So I'm gonna take that yellow shade on this brush, and I'm going to start from my inner tear duct and kind of start drawing it out above my crease. So I'm kind of making a wing, and then I'm going to extend it outwards like so, and then I'm going to start filling it in. If there's a brush that has a lot of versatility, in my opinion, it's a angled brush. A brow brush can do a lot of things for me, so I really like using them. It can pack, it can blend, it could be precise. She does it all. Working with yellows is tricky a lot of the time because, like I said before, sometimes they will not show up very easily. But as long as you prep your lids properly, you should have no issues. And if you're using a good quality eyeshadow like this one from Anastasia, no issues. Just beware of fallout whenever you're packing on any colors because it can get messy pretty fast. And my goal here is to make it so that when I'm looking straight, you can see the full yellow swoop. Now we just look like a little ray of sunshine. We're going to repeat our steps on the other side, of course. Again, doing the same thing, and now I have a somewhat guide of symmetry, just kind of making them sisters. Extending outwards. I like using the end of my eyebrow as my guide for where I want the direction of my wing to go, and we just connect everything. I am so excited to get back to vlogging for you guys because I'm going on a trip, a very exciting trip. I don't know if this video is going to be out before or after. I'm already on it. I'm trying to get this one uploaded before I leave, but I leave in 2 days. So we'll see how that goes. with editing and all that jazz, but I am so beyond excited to share with you guys where I am going. I'm going to not say anything right now just because I don't know what my exact plans are yet. I do, but like when it comes to scheduling. So stay tuned, check out my channel and check out my socials across everything to see what I've been up to. And you could always take your concealer brush, don't add any more product, especially with the yellow, you really don't need it, to kind of sharpen things and make them go the direction you want them to go. And similar to my last video, I'm also going to be using water activated liners just because they're the easiest to control in my opinion. I'll die on that hill. But anyways, I'm going to be using these this time because I want this blue and this white. These are by the brand Diane Water Soluble Painting Palette. I got this off of Amazon, so definitely check out Amazon for good, affordable palettes. This one's actually UV activated, so it actually glows under blue light, which is really cool. It comes with the UV activated version and also the non-UV activated version. Actually, I might use just the plain white in this one instead, but I need the blue from this one. This one's like, I did this look and I was like, oh, I know what blue I want. But first, let's start with the white. So I'm going to take my water and spray it. And I'm going to take a thin brush. This one is also a Sigma brush. This is a small eyeliner brush, E10 I believe, because it's also faded. But I'm just gonna take that white and warm it up on the back of my hand before I apply it to my eyes. And I'm going to trace just the outer part of this little dip here. So I'm going to begin making my line and following it along and ending it about halfway. And just because you have eyeshadow underneath does not mean you cannot clean up. You take the tiniest bit of concealer, you warm it up on the back of your hand always, and then you can kind of go in and start sharpening up something. And then all you have to do is take your yellow and your same brush from earlier and reapply your yellow. I feel like a lot of makeup looks is always a back and forth game, so don't be afraid to go back to re-edit a part you've already done because it's all part of the experience. Also keep in mind when doing eyeliner, everybody's eye shape is different, so don't worry if yours doesn't look exactly copy paste as mine if you're doing this look or any of my looks, because we all have different eye shapes, meaning somebody's might be more downward, someone's might be more upwards, more straight, just whatever works for your face. That's why it's so important to pay attention to how you look in the mirror, not always just go copy paste. I'm here to give you the blueprint, but you can still edit. I'm just here to help however I can. Now that we have somewhat of a shape like this, we're gonna go in with our blue. So I'm going to dampen that, of course, and take a new brush. This one actually came with the palette. I'm gonna take some of that, but I'm gonna mix it with the white that I already have on the back of my hand because I want this to be a lighter blue. That's another thing I love about water activated eyeliners. You could really mix and match, and face paints in general, you can make your own color. It's literally like acrylic painting or watercolor painting more like. Now I'm going to make another line that's going to eventually connect and a little bit overlap. It's easier said than done. I'm basically going to start from the inner right here, bring it inwards towards my white, but let it kind of go over the white. Just watch. We're going to do exactly that. Then we're going to make one solid line and then boom. I know she's squiggly. Now we clean up. As you can see, I'm letting it go a little bit over the white. I'm gonna have it have a shorter wing. And then again, go in with your concealer to clean everything up. Make it as thin or thick as you want. Again, I say it's a big preference thing. And this is how we're looking so far. Now let's catch up the other eye before we do anything else. Always working directly from the back of my hand, not directly from the product. And open it up. And don't let the symmetry game eat you too much alive. Now we're looking something like this, which means we're at one of my favorite points because we're gonna make it look magical. Dana, how do we make it look magical? I'm about to show you. I'm gonna use this palette from Danessa Myricks. This one is the Lightwork Volume 5 Transcendence palette, illuminating eye and face pigments. I love Danessa Myricks. If you want a good glitter or shadow or anything that's like shifting, that's worth the money, this is gonna be it. And as you can see, I really have dug into this palette. I'm going to be using shade Angels, which is my second shade that has hit pan, and you're about to see why. I'm gonna use a flat, stiff brush. I'm gonna take that color. I'm gonna take it on my finger, actually. And I'm just gonna start applying it everywhere, all over my yellow. I'm gonna use a stiff brush to get really close up in these corners, and I'm adding extra in my inner corner. Everything that has yellow on it gets this on top. I like using my finger because I feel like it evens everything out really nicely. Just like so. See the difference? Also adding the shimmer on top that's very like silvery and frosty makes it more pastel. So I'm going to do the same to the other side. I'm gonna see if there's anything I can buy individually that's exactly like this from Danessa Myricks, because oh my goodness, it's so good. I'm almost out of it. And now we're looking a little bit like that, and her hand is looking crazy like that. Now I'm gonna go back in with our blue, but this time I'm gonna create a little wing using our already pre-made wing with our yellow as a little guide. So I'm gonna start right here, angling it in the same direction, and then bringing it inwards, like so. And when I bring it inwards, I'm gonna kind of let it fizzle out instead of bringing it all the way across. So I'm just slightly making it thinner so that it only stays on like the right side. And I'm layering about 3 layers to get the true blue color, because it sometimes mixes with the yellow. And make sure you let it dry. And I'm gonna take some of my concealer just to kind of sharpen this up and define the shape, and blend downwards so it all kind of moves like one unit. Now I'm going to do the same on the other side. Again, guiding myself with my already pre-made yellow wing. Let me wipe off my hand before I have another whoopsies like last video. Okay, now we look crazy, but we're getting there. Skincare is key when you're doing your base, and one of the most important parts of your skincare routine is your SPF. And today I'm going to be using this one by On Ingredients. This one is an SPF 50, and the reason I'm using this one today is because it is an amazing sunscreen to layer underneath makeup. It has no white cast, and it doesn't make your makeup crumble and bunch up a bunch, because I have dealt with that before and it's not fun, especially when you spend a really long time doing your makeup. Another reason why I love this sunscreen is because it has skin barrier properties, and I can use as much as I want and it's not going to leave a white cast. I know I said that twice, but for me the white cast part is like the most important part when it comes to makeup or prepping for makeup. See how seamlessly it blends into my skin? And I used a lot, and it leaves your skin radiant and glowy but not tacky, which I love. You can get this one on Amazon. It is a 10 out of 10, would recommend. I'm traveling to California soon, so I'm going to definitely need this in my bag because we need to protect ourselves from the sun 24/7. Now watch how well my foundation glides on after using this. Today I'm going to blend out my base using a Real Techniques foundation brush. This is the 241. I'm going to be using a brush to blend out my foundation. I love this foundation because it gives a very, I know it's weird to say skin-like, but it's true. There's some foundations that are very thick. This one's not thick at all, but it still covers what it needs to cover, and I adore that about this one. I think it's definitely worth the price because I know this is in the higher end, but like I was talking about the Danessa Myricks palette being worth the money, this is a product as well that is really worth the money in my opinion. I love. Don't forget your concealer. I'm going to be using the second lightest shade on my concealer wheel that I was talking about earlier. To apply it just like so, blending it out with my flat brush first before I use my stiffer one to blend it all out. And I'm going to set as I go, so I'm going to take my Laura Mercier powder once again and a powder brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and set all of that in place while I'm here to avoid any excessive creasing. Look how pretty that under eye is. Well, let me show you how to fix this. The way to fix it is to blend it. So I'm just blending it out with my foundation brush as flat as possible, even though we already have powder on, and then carefully take my powder once again and set that all in place. See, not to worry. Now let's do the same on the other side. Carefully, using the same method. Okay, I'll tell you where I'm going because I've been telling you guys that I'm going to travel, so I'll tell you where. In 2 days, I will be leaving for California to go see Miss Ariana Grande with my best friend. I am so excited. You guys are my besties, but she's my other bestie, so I'm so excited to go spend time with her. And then we are also going to have a little excursion to Disneyland while we're there. Going to have a little mini road trip. Love a girls trip. So stay tuned to see how that goes. Unless I already posted something. Like I said, I don't know my schedule for this specific look yet. Setting that in place. And I'm also adding concealer to my forehead and my chin. I'm blending it out with my foundation brush just so that it mixes well together. In this little area here though, I'm using the smaller brush just so that I don't go crazy next to my eyebrows. We don't want to lose the plot now, do we? I'm also going to shake up my powder because I'm also going to use it to set the rest of my face. And that's how you get more powder to come out. Using a fluffy brush for that. Now that we're nice and set, I am going to take this Sephora Collection Micro Smooth palette, and I'm going to be using the bronzer in this. I'm going to take a fluffy brush, swirl it on there, and then I'm going to kind of start at the tips of my ears, trickling it downwards, just to add some warmth back into my face. And then I'm going to also fade it upwards towards my temples, and also a little bit underneath here on my jawline. And I'm going to do the same on both sides. For my blush today, I'm going to be using Lancome's Blush Subtil in shade Blushing Tresser. I'm going to take a blush brush, this one's by Sigma, in F10, that's the number, and I'm going to start swirling this on the tops of my cheeks, but I'm also going to start bringing it underneath because I want it to kind of give me a flush type of look, and I kind of want to be a little bit dramatic with it. Doing the circular motions makes it so that it blends really nicely with our bronzer, and I'm taking my fluffy powder brush with no extra product just to kind of diffuse these edges, and I'm going to do that on both sides, again trickling it underneath a little bit. I cannot wait to show you guys my outfit for the Ariana Grande concert, so make sure that you follow me on Instagram to keep up with everything that I'm doing. Now that we kind of look like this, a tiny bit crazy, but that's alright. When do I not say we look crazy? As I aggressively pack on more blush as if I need it. Now we're going to go back into our eyes a bit. Basically, I'm going to use the same layering system that I did with our lid. I'm going to take our initial yellow shade from our Anastasia palette on the same angled brush. We're very resourceful here. And I'm going to start applying that all over my bottom lash line and letting it trickle into my waterline a bit. I'm going to apply that all throughout, and I'm also bringing my yellow underneath my blue and fading it downwards to give it a sort of shadow. And I'm going to fade everything out, just like so. And then taking our Danessa Myricks shimmer, I'm going to apply that right on top everywhere that there was yellow, because we want to keep this very, I like to say magic girl coated. I don't know why I always use that term when I'm doing my makeup looks. I think it's because I like a lot of glitter, but I'm going to apply that everywhere. And then I'm also bringing this down onto my cheeks. And I always love bringing whatever glitter or shimmer that I'm using right here in the little eye bag area to make it extra prominent there. We're going to do the same on the other side. Careful not to poke your eye. Okay, we're almost done, but I'm going to take a fluffy brush and I'm going to take that same shade that I keep using, and I'm going to use this glitter everywhere. Like, we're not being shy, we're not trying to be anything other than glittery. I'm going to add that to my nose, my lips, over here, over there, basically everywhere. Then I'll take my finger just to extra intensify the Cupid's bow, and then take the tiny brush and pop that into your brow bone, whatever's showing of it, of course. Seriously, I need to find a replacement for this because I don't know what I'm gonna do once I'm out of it. I love it so much. We're looking nice and cute. When it comes to the lips, I'm actually not taking off my foundation because I usually go in with a makeup wipe and take it off. But hear me out, put a little powder on that. I'm gonna show you one of my favorite lip products. It's another brand that I've had the privilege to work with because they're amazing. And out of multiple things that they sent me, I found one of my favorite staple items. This, my dearest besties, is a Locka Fruity Glam lip tint. I got a bunch of minis, and this shade in particular has been for me. I absolutely love it. So basically this is like a lip tint, but it's juicy. So it has a gloss, and then once the gloss wears off during the day, it leaves behind the stain. This is so perfect for what we're going for because I want to do what's called a little bit of a gradient lip. So leaving the foundation around my lips instead of taking it off is going to automatically do it for us because it's already a gradient. So I'm going to add this directly on top. This one is in shade 141, I believe, and it is so pretty. I'm just going to apply it directly. And they smell so good, I can't. No lip liner, I'm gonna use my finger to fade out the edges. And it's gonna mix so beautifully with that shimmer we put at our Cupid's bow because it doesn't fully cover it. My goodness. And these are so practical to like take in your purse and stuff. I'm gonna add a little bit more in the center because that's where I want the most pigment. And that's how you do this lip style. I'm going to add a glitter gloss. This is another one that I've had like as a staple for a while. This one's from ColourPop, and this is actually part of their Frozen collection. This is the Elsa version. I'm sorry, the Frozen 2 collection. I love this. This one's called Mythic Journey. It smells really good, but it has a brush tip applicator and it's super glittery. So I'm gonna apply that right on top because it goes perfectly with all the glitter we have on our face. It smells very cozy. Ta-da! And look at that shine. Obsessivated. Look at how pretty that is. Oh my goodness. Now let's add some stuff to our face. Now this look is called Lemon Drop, and I don't think a lemon drop has dropped until it has lemons on it. Me not even knowing what I'm saying. So I'm gonna take some of these little charms. I have some lemon charms right here. I don't know if you can see them. I'm gonna add those on my face. They're gonna look so cute. I'm going to apply them using lash glue. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball these. I'm going to start right here, apply a little glue, and I'm just picking it up with my fingers because they're big enough to. And then I'm just going to kind of set her down right there. I'm going to add a couple more, and I'm going to add them on the other side as well. I think I accidentally added an orange, so let me fix it. Yeah, that was totally an orange. Whoops. Should I do a fruit series? That'd be so cute. I know I have a strawberry look, but honestly, I kind of didn't like it. So maybe I could redo my strawberry look next. Well, I actually have the next upcoming looks, but let me know down below in the comments if you want to see a fruit series. Make that cute, right, guys? But that's a tiny lemon. If you think I'm done, you're so funny. Because I'm also going to add some of these iridescent little rhinestones up here, just kind of sprawled about. Again, using my lash glue, so I'm just going to kind of eyeball these and add them where I see that they might look cute. I'm going to also add them a little bit up here. I freaking love this look so far. One of my favorite things about doing things like this is doing the whole creative process and then actually doing it and loving the outcome. Because sometimes not everything goes to plan, but sometimes it ends up better. This one, though, went exactly according to plan. Well, somewhat. I kind of changed some things. And this is what we're looking like. How freaking cute. Now, I'm going to add a mascara. Today, I'm going to be using Giorgio Armani's Ice to Kill. I'm going to use that on my top and bottom lashes. For this look, because we have such a light color underneath, bottom lashes are essential. Because it's going to really make our lashes pop. Eyes pop. Same thing. Now I'm going to quickly apply lash. Today I'm using what I call a recycled lash, which basically means I already used it for another makeup look, but I reused my lashes because we're nice and resourceful here. You should always recycle your lashes. I'm just gonna lay them down on my lash line. I love these because they're very wispy and they're very out there, and I think they're perfect and dainty enough for this look. I'm getting real up and close and personal to really stamp them down and push them down onto my lash line, just like so. I'm also lightly curling them and adding mascara to the ends. And just like that, we are done with our makeup. Let me go deal with this hair so I can show you the final look. Curled it today. Labor of love. And just like that, this look is complete. I think it is so freaking cute. I present to you Lemon Drop. I think it is so freaking cute. I love, 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 love the little appliques. I think they were definitely the way to go. And I think the contacts were the perfect choice. Honestly, I almost did like green contacts, but I think the brown is the move 100%. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure that you subscribe if you want to see more. I have my makeup tutorials, vlogs coming up, and also more episodes of my beauty deep dive series Face Value, so stay tuned for all of that. Comment below what look you think I should do next or what you think I already have on the radar, because I have a couple ideas pending. Don't forget to follow me across all platforms on social media. I'm Dana Belen across everything on Instagram, TikTok, and now I have a X account. I didn't have that before, so go follow me on there because I like to post little thoughts and more pictures that didn't make the cut to Instagram. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye besties.